Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another glorious 6 for 6. I'm your host, Trevor Williams, presenting you the 6 best games of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get down to business with a quick recap with my overall record of what we have for our picks so far in this 6 for 6 season. So last week, we went for another 3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen. I am having the best 50% average that you could ever imagine. So if I was a batter in baseball, I know because the lockout is still going on, I think I would have the best batting average. So if you put me up at the plate, if you threw me 2 pitches, I would hit at least 1 out of 2, 50%, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm working with right here in my picks for 6 for 6. But with having these, 3 for 3 records, it kind of impacts my overall record, which will be 24 and 24 this season in 6 for 6. So we got a lot of good stuff here in 6 for 6. We haven't had a losing record yet, so we're going to see how this ends up developing as the season goes on for 6 for 6. With that, without a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our picks for tonight's program. Got a lot of basketball since there's not really other sports going on. Hard to really catch soccer because you might have to get ESPN Plus. So we're doing our best to facilitate other sports throughout the process of this 6 for 6 season. I know we got March Madness coming up, so we will make sure we're going to put that in to our 6 for 6 script as well. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's go into our first pick for our 6th pick of tonight's program. So in the 6th pick, we got North Carolina versus number 4 Duke in the nation. Men's college basketball. You can catch it on March 5th, which is a Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. This is one of, Coach K's last home stand at Duke. So, great way to cap off his legacy career at Duke. But ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a no-brainer. I think everyone's going to select Duke on this one. Last home game before you go into the tournament. That are being fulfilled. So North Carolina is 22-8 with a conference record of 14-5. And look at Duke's record is 25-4 with a conference record of 15-3 with a percentage of chance to win this game as an 86.3% chance favorites to win this game against North Carolina. But if you got to look at some of the last, 5 games, Duke is on a 5-game win streak out of the last 5 games, and compare it to North Carolina, who's won 4 out of the last 5 based on the, statistics and when this game is going to be played. So there could be games beforehand, but since we're getting close to, all these conference tournaments, that's going to probably most likely stay true. But if you got to look at the points per what these teams can produce, Duke has 80 points per game compared to North Carolina's 77. But you got to look at the assists. Duke moves the ball a lot more efficiently, about 17 assists per game compared to North Carolina's 14, almost 15 assists per game. Look at blocks and steals. North Carolina gets about 4 blocks compared to Duke's almost 6 blocks. And then you look at their steals, it's not even the same across the board. And if you look at the overall win streaks, Duke is on their, Duke is on a 6-game win streak. And looking at for North Carolina, they are on a 4-game win streak currently. So as you can see, both teams are building up the correct momentum going into March Madness. But for me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have to go with Duke winning this one. So you can catch this game, North Carolina versus number 4 Duke, Saturday, March 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. Moving up into our 5th game, we got some NBA. We got the Bucks and the Bulls. Friday, March 4th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific. I didn't put the game where you can catch it. So obviously check the ESPN app to figure out where this game is going to, so you can able to be watching it. But at the same time, this game is evenly matched up again. ESPN has the Bucks winning with a 54.8% chance to win this game. But ladies and gentlemen, with 2 players being out for the Bucks as of Monday when I was building the script, the Bulls don't have any players being out as of 48 hours ago when I built this script. So I'm going to go with the Bulls because they have all their players being healthy. I think that's going to be a key critical point in this foreseeable future. And plus, if I'm looking at the last 5 games that happened, the Bucks only have won 1 out of their last 5 games compared to the Bulls, who won 4 out of their last 5. And I'm looking at some of the matchups that they've played, they haven't really played anybody similar in the last 5, so it's really going to be hard to really truly judge. But with having all your players being healthy in this matchup, I think the Bulls are going to be able to find a way to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. Moving next up into our 5th spot, we got some NHL. We got the Bruins and Golden Knights. I know there's been some stuff happening beforehand, some Monday and Tuesday, so obviously the last 5 games may not be accurate or up to date because since I built this script 2 days in advance before going live on the show. So I know I probably should do some updates and do it the night before, but it's just easier to do 2 days in advance, make sure I have the script ready to go, and make sure I get everything you need going forth into that. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, with looking at this, I know when I put, soccer or hockey in there, there's a potential tie. So we may have a potential tie in 6 for 6 and giving us our first tie, depending how this game goes. So Bruins Golden Knights Thursday, March 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. The Bruins record is 31-17-4 with a away record of 15-7-3. Compared to the Golden Knights is 29-28-4 with their homestand as 14-12-3 for their homestand. But just looking at last 5 games, the Bruins were on a 4 out of 5 game win streak compared to the Golden Knights 1 for 5 on their last 5 games. So I think this is going to be an easy pick for me. I'm going to go with the Bruins on this one. Going to continue that streak. I understand they played the Anaheim Ducks recently, and I think they lost short in that. So that's where you can see their last 5 games. So this is going to be, I would say, I'm not a pivotal game, but get back in track and getting back in that win column for the Bruins. So I'm going to go with the Bruins on this one. Next up, we're going to go into the upper half of the bracket, the top 3 games of the week, games that you got to tune into. It's like the bottom 6, sure, those are nice. But the top 3 are the games it's must-see TV that you want to watch over the weekend. And that's what we got for you, ladies and gentlemen. We got the top 3. So we're going to go in the top 3. We got the Warriors and the Lakers. Saturday, March 5th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific on ABC. Great match between these 2 teams, but obviously the Lakers have been struggling, but the Warriors are been injury-riddled. James Wiseman has been out. Draymond Green is potentially out. And Klay Thompson has been, potentially out in the last 48 hours. And Andre Iguodala is also out for the Warriors. So it's going to be very, key star players for the Warriors being out. But obviously this game is on Saturday. So a lot of that injury reserve for them can easily change and, improve for the Warriors. But looking at these teams in their wins and losses, ladies and gentlemen, these teams are not what they seem to be with all their star talent around these 2 fantastic teams. We have the Warriors winning 2 out of the last 5 compared to the Lakers winning 1 of their last 5. So as you can see, it's not the best. But if you look at their records, the Warriors are 43-18. With an away record of 17-11 compared to the Lakers of 27-33, with a homestand of 18-15, and ESPN has the Warriors being favorites of 58.6% chance favorite to win this game. And I'm going to have to select the Warriors on this one, even though they have a lot of missing pieces. I think they'll find a way to beat this Los Angeles Lakers team. They find a way, and like I said, we're in the middle of the week, and a lot of those injured players that I listed earlier will probably most likely be back, or at least a good portion of them to be back in this one. With the number 2 slot, ladies and gentlemen, we got men's college basketball again. USC, which is number 16 in the nation, versus number 17 UCLA, March 5th on Saturday, which is the time slot for this game is 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. Great rivalry that we've seen in this series so far between these 2 schools in men's college basketball. Looking at USC's record is 25-4 with a conference record of 14-4 compared to UCLA's 21-6 with a conference record of 13-5. With that, ladies and gentlemen, UCLA's favorite of an 84.5% chance favorite to win this game. And looking at the last 5 games that they have played, USC is on a 5-game win streak, but if you look at the overall win streak they have, they are on a 6-game winning streak. USC and UCLA is on a 1-game winning streak, but out of their last 5 games, they have won 4 out of them. So obviously these teams are preparing for that March Madness streak, building up those wins, getting underneath their belt. But at the same time, I don't think USC is going to compete with UCLA. But points, per game, USC is about, 74 compared to UCLA's 77 with, assists, both averaging about 14 assists per game. Blocks going more of USC's favor with about 4 compared to UCLA's 3. And steals, USC averages about almost 6 compared to UCLA's 7. So as you can see, teams are pretty much balanced, but I'm going to have to give the edge of UCLA on this one. They were a better team at one point. They were in the top 10 of things. I think they're going to be able to find a way to beat USC. And plus, they are at home in this game, so I don't think it's too much of a challenging feat for them to win this one. But I think to cap this one off, I think you could say this should have been the number one. But I think when you're looking at matchups who are teams ranked relatively close to one another, it has to be Arkansas, 14 in the nation, versus Tennessee, number 13 in the nation, in men's college basketball, Saturday, March 5th, noon, 9 a.m. Pacific time on ESPN. Great matchup right there. 2 teams close together in ranking. You can't, miss it. This is a game that you have to tune into. Definitely going to be a great matchup. Arkansas is 23-6 with a conference record of 12-4 versus Tennessee's record of 21-7 with a conference record of 12-4. Tennessee's a favorite of an 83.9% chance favorite to win. Out of their last 5 games, Arkansas has won 4 of their last 5 compared to Tennessee. They have also won 4 of their last 5. Arkansas is on a 4-game winning streak compared to Tennessee's 2-game winning streak at the moment. Arkansas averages about 77 points per game compared to Tennessee's 73 points per game. Looking at assists, Arkansas averages about 14 assists compared to Tennessee's 16 assists per game. Looking at the blocks, both average about 4, and steals, Arkansas averages about almost 8 compared to Tennessee's 10 steals a game, about 10 steals a game, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, great matchup for this number 1 spot for today's pick'ems. I shouldn't say pick'ems, 6 for 6 with our best 6 games of the week. I don't think you can get any much better games than this week, but let's do a quick recap for tonight's program. We'll conclude it out with, a few announcements of my last previous week's records and overall record this season. So let's get it going. So in the 6th spot, North Carolina versus Duke, Saturday, March 5th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. I have Duke winning this one. The next game, I have Bucks and Bulls. Friday, March 4th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. Check ESPN or your local, television provider to figure out where this game is going to be held. I forgot to put it on my script, but I'm going to have the Bulls winning this one. Next up, we got some NHL. We got the Bruins and Golden Knights, Thursday, March 3rd, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN, and I have the Bruins winning this one. Next up in the 3rd slot, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Warriors-Lakers, Saturday, March 5th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific on ABC, and I have the Warriors winning this one. In the 2nd slot of today of the 6 for 6 program, we have USC, number 16 in the nation, versus UCLA, number 17 in the nation. Saturday, March 5th, men's college basketball, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. And I have UCLA winning this one. And the number 1 slot, ladies and gentlemen, like I said earlier, Arkansas, number 14 in the nation, versus Tennessee's 13 in the nation. Men's college basketball, Saturday, March 5th, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time on ESPN, ladies and gentlemen. And I have Tennessee winning with that. And to conclude our program tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bring up my previous week's record for you all to see where I stand. So last week, I was able to get 3 for 3 right. So I'm averaging about 50% in a lot of my picks. So I think I'm doing a good job. So if you had a coin flip, picking games with me, most of the time the games that I most likely pick, you'll get half of them right. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that leaves me with an overall record this far in this season of 6 for 6 for 24 and 24. With that, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude tonight's program on 6 for 6 and on the MI6 Sports Network for 6 for 6. That will do it for here for the Six-Man Williams, also known as Captain Williams. But that will do it for here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the 6 for 6 program. That will be it. So long for now. Take care and see you next time here on the 6 for 6 and the MI6 Sports Network. So long for now. Bye-bye.